Alright, first off, thanks for watching this video. I don't do many review videos, so for me to do one is kind of a special thing for me. So anybody who watches this, I greatly appreciate it. This is the Boom Racing BRX02. I'm sure you know that, otherwise you probably wouldn't have clicked on the video. But this is something that I've wanted for a long time. I tried to build trail trucks with 2 speeds. I tried to come up with different ideas. I converted a Team Rafe D90 into essentially one of these by putting all the BRX01 drivetrain with the BRX90 axles underneath of it. It worked great. It had a few lackings and a few shortcomings just because I don't own a machine shop, but it was working. So when Jason came up with this idea and he said, hey, do you want to test this? I jumped all over it because I was like, man, this is exactly what I was trying to build, but he does own a machine shop, so it works out. And I'm not going to go into great detail about the transmission, how to set up the pinion, all that stuff. I'm not going to go into that. I'm not going to go into the transfer case. Not really much into the axles. The only difference with the axles are these are the wider axles, but otherwise the axles, the transfer case, and the transmission are shared items with the BRX01. I did the prototype testing in the latter part of 2018 on the BRX01. I have suffered 0 failures in those areas, so I really can't say that there's any reason to talk about that because I haven't even broke the first one in the last 4 years. So odds are pretty good this one's gonna be fine for you. Everybody has gone into great lengths talking about how the body comes off and all that, but the things they haven't really discussed very well is the stuff that goes into more performance related and just the little subtleties that were really nice to see added to it. Number one thing that I noticed instantly was, let me zoom in a little bit so you can see this better. There we go. If you look here, it's not a traditional drive shaft on either end. It is more of a constant velocity joint. It has a lot more angle that it can get. It's on both sides, but and then the inner sector shaft is still the same because it doesn't do anything. It just goes straight. So this here has no wear. It has done nothing. I've done about 43 miles per a little fitness tracker thingy. Going through the mountains, bouncing around, as you can tell, it's all scarred up. It has not had a very easy life. But I've suffered 0 mechanical failures. The only things that have ever come loose on it were my own fault. I must have forgot blue Loctite in a few areas, but whatever. And they were all on the steer servo, every single one of them, because I failed at it. So anyway, it comes with this. It is more of a constant velocity joint, so you don't have any issues. The only thing I have found is if you run an extremely silty sand, it will get back in here and it will squeak a little bit. So I just carry a little plastic brush with me or something, or just don't care sometimes. And I always spray this with a little bit of graphite before I go out, and because I have been running in quite a bit of water lately. So that being said, no issues. The rear links, the upper and lower rear links are not the same as a BRX01 in the sense that these would be the upgraded version for the BRX01. The upper link curves like this and the lower link curves like this. So when you go into full compression, you can actually touch the axle to the frame rail, and if you look, nothing is touching anywhere and everything still moves. So this would have, if you owned a BRX01, this would have been this is an amazing upgrade for it. I've got it on mine, and definitely worth the money if you're looking for it. Oh, let's see underneath. The shocks were kind of a shortcoming in the BRX01, fixed in later versions. But he nailed them pretty hard on these. They're in there. The porting is correct. This one weighs 13.9 pounds with battery in it. So what I had to end up going to on a final setup was I did update the shock oil in it. The one he gives works fine, but once I started getting really heavy, it became a problem for me because I needed to slow it down a little bit. So what I ended up doing was going to a zoom out. I did go to a 100 weight shock oil, and then I put it comes with 3 sets of springs, soft, medium, hard. I put the stiffest ones in the back, and I put the medium ones in the front, and then I'd be putting up pictures right now about how much adjustment I give them, how much preload. Not a whole lot. It's just I needed to get the compression rates correct so it wouldn't have unsprung weight and bounce all over the dang place and be out of control. Receiver box, same as the BRX01, waterproof, comes with the silicone for it, and that's another touch too. Is it comes with the shock oil, it comes with the Allen wrenches, it comes with all the tools to put this thing together, and it also comes with the Loctite for the screws. Impressive. I never had another kit come with all that. This comes with the silicone that goes around the seal and the seal on the top to make the receiver box waterproof. I've gone swimming deeper than the truck a few times. I opened it up every single time I got home. No water intrusion. Everything's been fine. I don't see any problems in that area. The body mounts. If you've watched one of these videos, everybody's talked about the exact same thing. How the body mount quick release works. You squeeze it, pops off. Pretty basic. The only thing I have found is that if you run in sand, especially wet sand, it'll get back inside here. And when it gets back inside there, you can't go and squeeze that to make it release. So I just carry a little stiff plastic brush, like just a little whisk looking brush. I just take it out, knock that out, it comes off, no issues. I don't believe it's an actual problem per se, as much as it is you probably just shouldn't run in wet sand. That's about it. Let's see underneath what else we got. There was little things about it that I found interesting. The back of it, we don't see many Defenders in America, so I didn't understand. The back of it, this right here, this little hole, I had to look it up. It's for trailer wire connectors. I was kind of impressed that was there. It's a nice touch. It doesn't really serve a purpose, and maybe it will one day, I don't know, but it doesn't right now. And so that was, I think, just a really nice touch. On the frame rail, the frame rail, let me pop the body off of it. The frame rail was being carbon fiber, I was a little bit sketchy about it. I've never had a carbon fiber crawler before, so I guess I didn't really know what to expect. The carbon fiber was, every single cross member that goes into it that is structural is a tongue and groove. So it goes in, it's positively locked in, then it's screwed in, and the ones that are, I guess for lack of a better word, the ones that are a little bit higher priority, like the steering ones and stuff that could work themselves loose again, are actually countersunk screws too. And then the countersunk screws here for the shock towers, you can actually move the shock towers backwards to get more angle, and then there is just a ton of adjustment in here that you can move the shock to wherever you want it to be. Plus down below on the back one, let's see if I can get in there to see that. On the back one, there's 3 adjustments on there too. So if you did want to just go like with huge tires and you wanted to get more clearance, you have the ability to do this. And if you look right here, you can see all the holes for the different mounting. Let's see, what else do we got? I did put the muscle winch in it. I kind of had to fabricate a few things because this kit is not available when this was being built. But I really wanted to try one of these, so I did that. It's pretty impressive. It does. It'll pick this thing up on 6 volt on the BEC because it plugs directly into the receiver. It doesn't need a module, doesn't need any controller box or anything. It plugs directly into it, and on 6 volts on the BEC settings in here, it will pick this thing off the ground like it's not even there. It doesn't groan, it doesn't load up, it just picks it up. Like, you don't loop it around your finger. It's about like to try to cut your finger off. So that's just from experience by showing it to people. It'll hurt you. But it's really quite impressive. So I definitely recommend when that kit becomes available, get one. The other thing, nice touch, if you look right here, all the wires run through a recessed cut in the body post mount. And then he comes with these little straps, and then you just strap it down so all your harness stays intact, stays out of the way real nice. You don't have to, let me zoom in there just a touch on that, you'll see. It stays real nice and clean out of the way. You don't have to deal with anything. You don't have to try to figure out how to run it on the inside of the frame rail and all this other problems like normal. It gives you a nice, very, very defined place to put it. The zoom back out. The other thing, let's see, it does come with the steering, with the servo horn. It comes with that. It comes with this. It comes with, just like the BRX01, it comes with all that stuff, and it also comes with the pinion for the motor. I am running the one it came with. Electronics that I went with: Hobbywing 1080 speed control, Tekin 45 turn. I would say because of this one's weight, I would definitely buy a good motor. I would not skimp on the motors whatsoever. And I went with an Expert waterproof because I knew I was going to go swimming with it. I like the Hobbywing 1080s. They are by far, for the dollar, the best thing you can come up with. They're extremely customizable. They've always just worked. There's nothing negative to say about them. Oh, let's see, what else do we got? The cross members are done that. The tires, probably one of my favorite tires, the Max Grapplers. They work dry, they work wet, they just work. I've had them on my other D90. I think they look good, and it's one of the few tires I know of that when you get it wet, it doesn't seem to degrade the performance at all. Let's see what else we got. Then once again, of course, you could do the same thing like with the BRX01. You could take the link and move it to the front to get more steering out of it. But even at the back section like this, I still have to limit it with my my radio, because it will go too far and like completely become obscene. So there's no real great reason, I think, to do that. But other than that, zero issues. 43 miles per little fitness tracker. Hours and hours and hours of beaten down trails. I didn't go abusive with it because I figure whoever buys this is not going to go and jump it and try to go rallycross with it. It's going to be something that they're going to use for trail running. So I used it as such. As you can tell, she's missing a lot of paint. She hasn't had a very easy life, but I think that's what we got to do to it. So if you have any questions, any comments, any concerns, whatever, please hit me up. I will do my best. If you want better pictures or something, I will post them. Just let me know. And once again, I really, really thank you for watching, because there is a side to this that I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to reviews. So thank you very much.